Hi there, this is Kathy Crow. This is the Crow Cottage, still under snow, but it's gonna get better. It is getting, it's melting a little bit. It's just, it takes a long time to melt when it's only getting to, 20 something. Now it's supposed to get warmer. This is just a little cold snap just at the end here, just to help us appreciate the good weather when it comes. So anyhow, I hope you are having a great day. I have got a couple of really cute things to do. I'm having a tea party class coming up very soon, and some of the little goodies that I'm going to make, I'm going to show you how I did that today, and then tomorrow I'll do my drawing, and we'll see who won from last week's share. So if you haven't shared last week's video, get on to that and share so that I can put your name in that little basket. There we go, basket. My brain's not really working. My glasses are probably dark because I've been outside, and and I have to be really careful when I go out because it's very slippery. A lot of ice out there, and I'm holding on, to stuff as I go along. But anyhow, so I'm gonna swing the camera down, and then we'll see what comes up on my computer and see what can be seen, and I'll keep chatting away like I always do. I'm actually a very quiet person. I know you're thinking, right? I really am. I'm a quiet person. I like to listen to other people's stories. It's just that at this point, when I'm here all by myself, no one else is here to talk, so I will fill in that gap. And I'm taking my time here trying to find my video, and that way I can see when hopefully I can see if somebody is with me. You can see I did do a host code for this month, and the reason I did is because this month, March, you have until March 31 to order Stampin' Up! Stuff and get all the free things that they are offering. Now, we have two catalogs going. There's this Occasions catalog, and there's the big annual catalog, and there's lots of really good things in both of those. But for every $50 that you order, you get to choose from a whole lot of really nice things. So I would encourage you to place your orders now, because there's the cupcake, and there's ribbon and paper and elements, and these stamp sets we've been using here, and a bunch of people have been using these stamp sets, so I know you've seen how cute they are. And I'm actually not using this tea framelit today, but this is going to be something I'm using in the class that I'm doing, so please register. Oh, this is cute too. Register for my classes at the Square Up website. The class that I have coming up next is actually March 22 is the Friday time, and March 23 at 10 o'clock. So that's called Tea Time. And then in April, I have two more classes. I'm redoing the Happy Tales one, and you'll see more about that because that's a really cute one. And I'd added one thing to it, so that'll be fun. And then a Climbing Roses one, which is actually one of the stamp sets that I'm going to use. I'm only going to use today this little rose, and I think this little trellis thing is all I'm going to be using today from that stamp set. But it's a really nice one. We're going to be using all of these when we do Climbing Roses. So anyhow, on my website, you can find the links to that and register. So I would encourage you to do that. And then also Stampin' Up! Came out with some new stamps in a second release. So these also are, there's that floral embossing folder, and this paper is beautiful, and the stamp, such neat things. So those are freebies until March 31, so you definitely want to be doing that. Now the first thing that we're going to do today is this cute little tea giftable thing. Isn't this cute? I love this. So Erica Serwin is one of the one of my upline people who comes up with all kinds of really creative things to do. So when you come to my class, you are going to get your own little little giftable thing, and you're also going to see how to make this. So register to come to my little tea class, and we're going to do this today. So I guess I won't take a lot of time to tie my bow because we're going to be playing with that anyway. And then also I'm going to make show you how I made this little cute little sack. This is one that I made to give to my Climbing Roses class. So when we do our Climbing Roses class and in the third weekend of April, you will get that. And today I think I'm gonna start with that today. So this is the box that I start with. And I cut this off on my Silhouette Cameo. Now, just so that you know how to do it, you can actually cut this very easily yourself. This is, let's measure it really fast here to see how long it is. So this piece is 11 3/4. Okay, so you would just go 11, so you would need your 12 by 12, and that's why I'm using, this is the Share What You Love cardstock. That's $14.95, I think, $14.99, something like that. Hi, Linda. It's nice to thank you for tuning in to see what we're doing today. I'm a little late today because I kind of forgot that it was Monday already. I had a big busy weekend, and thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. And yes, it's finally sunny in Virginia. I am so happy. We don't have sun here today, but we have seen it a little bit. So I'm hopeful that it's going to get better. So anyhow, so you would have take your DSP, and you could use any one. This is just the sheet that I decided to do for Climbing Roses. I wanted to use our floral stuff. So they actually have a rose one that I could use, but anyway, it's real pretty too, but it's thinner, and I wanted a little sturdier box, what I want to put in there. So this is 11 3/4, and then this, because you have to cut out this lid part, and if I were just cutting this out of paper, because I use my Silhouette, but if you were just cutting it with your cutting board, you would do 11 3/4, and it would be, this is basically 8. You would cut it 8 across there where the lid is, and then you come in, looks like 3 and 2, that's 3.5. It's 3.5 inches in, and then you would cut, this size is 6 inches, okay? So anyhow, and then after you cut that, you could use any of your fancy scissors to cut this lid. It would be tough, you know. You could use your Thinlit, and you could use your scissors. There are many ways you could get this. Usually we don't have punches that are that big, and anyway, you'd have to do a layer and just glue it on there, and you could do that too. Anyway, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but don't worry about it. So anyhow, there's lots of stuff online to show you how to do bags. I mean, there's just tons. So that's one reason I'm just not too worried about it. I need to fold all of my folds up, and then you'll see how quick it is once you get everything all cut. When you do boxes and bags, really you just have to be super careful to cut everything accurately, and once you've cut everything accurately and scored it accurately, that's usually where I flub up, is the scoring part. Those measurements tend to be a little bit more, I don't know, on the you know, there's like 7/8 or 3/8 or 5/8 or something, and I'm counting my lines and stuff. So that's one reason I like to use my Silhouette, because it does all the score lines for me too, so I don't really have to to mess with that. And then I'm gonna just use my my snail adhesive to put this together. And I want my, let's see, this is gonna be the front, okay, because it's gonna come down like that. So I want this piece to be the absolute bottom on my on the bottom there. I want that to be right at the bottom. So that's gonna be there. And I'm just putting a little bit of tape on everything just to make sure. And then this one, this flap, I want to be on the inside. So I want tape on this side. Okay, now it's all very sticky. So once you get going, you really can't stop. You just have to assume that you're doing it all correctly, because again, like I said, once you get going, you cannot, once it sticks, it's gonna be stuck. And you could use your tear and tape. A lot of times I do use my rubber cement, but if I did rubber cement, I would have to do both surfaces and let it dry and then attach, and that gets to be a little bit long in a video. So, oops, am I doing it wrong? No, that's correct. Okay. So I just wanna get this little strip well fastened, and before I put that bottom in. Boop. There we go. And then I can use my hand to push down that bottom and make sure it's all nicely sealed. And then I'm gonna pinch these sides like this so that it comes together. And then this part folds down here, and there's actually this cute little flap that I can attach it to. Okay, so that's pretty quick and easy, isn't it? Now, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna take my label, and we're going to use the, we're gonna use this, the little rose in this Climbing Roses set. We're just gonna use the little tiny rose, and we're gonna use this little lattice, and then we're gonna use the I Thought of You Today stamp, because it just fits pretty well. And this again is gonna be for my my little rose class, Climbing Roses class. Now I did this, I cut this little piece out of, shoot, I should have looked to see which Thinlit this is. So I sort of forget. I could run over there to my piano and look, but instead of doing that, I will just try to think about it for a minute. I wonder if it's the, I don't think it's the Tea Time framelit ones. I don't know. I might have to look over there before I'm finished, because that will drive me crazy. But I wanted to put this little strip on the bottom. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just put tape right here like this. Might be a little gummy here and there, but it's not gonna be too bad. And then I'm gonna just stick it on my bag where my edge is straightest on the side. Oops. I better lay it down here so I can actually do this properly. Okay, and then I'm just gonna fold it over just to show myself where to snip, because rather than measure and probably get it wrong, I'm gonna just go snip, snip, and there. Now my bottom's done. Okay, and then let's stamp. All right, so we'll put we'll do the little trellis first, and that is, I did it in Petal Pink. Okay, let me try to move some things around. I'm gonna move my camera up a little bit just so you can see more of what my work surface is. And we're gonna stamp off, and I think I am going to grab a sheet of paper, because I'm going to be working a lot today on this, and I don't really want to get it all messed up already. So we're going to just get a piece, because I need to stamp off this little I want this to be fairly light, and it's still kind of dark even, so I might even stamp off a couple of times. I don't know, but I do want to kind of see how I did it. This trellis is a little tricky to match up. If you just stamp it one time, it's fairly easy, but yeah, stamping off once will probably be fine. So we're just gonna go like there, and then to get it to kind of match up, I turned it, I believe I turned it to this way. Yeah, that's what I did. Those little, see there's one missing one, but it doesn't matter because our roses are gonna go in there and make this look good. Okay, so that's the little trellis, and we'll clean that off and put it back in the case. So the weather prediction for this week is we had incredible cold last night. I'm sure everyone is. I know I talked to my uncle in Coeur d'Alene this morning, and I think he said it was 4 degrees last night, so I felt a little better about it, because ours I think was 11, I think 10, maybe it was 10 when I woke up this morning at about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I believe it was 10 degrees, so I don't know what it got to. It was pretty cold. Okay, at that time temperature, who's gonna be out there anyway? So I suppose somebody went out. Now for my little rose, I'm going to twist it around. So I kind of need to set it up so I know what I'm doing. And I'm using Memento Black, the Tuxedo Black. And I know I'm doing it right on these. I'm going to just color it the same color. You really won't be able to see the trellis under there. So I'm just stamping the rose right on. And then I'm putting this one like this, kind of close to it. If it overlaps a tiny bit, that's fine. It's going to look great. There. You only want 3. You don't want more. Generally, the rule is 3, 5s, or 7s. I don't know why. That's just the rule. And obviously, designers who know what they're doing break those rules all the time. They can do that, and I'm not artistic enough to do that. So I try to stick with 3. Generally, because I keep adding things. You keep adding, you know, it gets worse and worse. So 3 is good. And then I want this sentiment. I thought of you today. This is going to be cute. I love this. I don't know who's getting this particularly yet, but I'm kind of stamping it good because I want to make sure there's plenty of ink, but I'm not pushing down really hard. Now with these new stamp pads, they're very juicy. They are not like, if you stamped 20 years ago like me, you remember the linen pads that were not nearly as, well, juicy is the word, okay? So you could go mash, 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 and it would be fine. But with these, you're going to get so much moisture that it'll go into your crevices. Like it did a little bit right there, but I'm going to be careful, okay? And not push too hard. But I do have to push hard enough that it's going to show up. So we'll see what happens. Perfect. Okay, so you just have to experiment. Don't be afraid to always experiment with things before you actually make a card, because you'll be surprised that some of the easiest things are harder than you thought they would be. That's just the way life is. And then with the colors, I used the petal, I think this is Petal Pink. This is dark, these are Stampin' Up's blending pens, and that's dark Petal Pink and light Petal Pink. That's why I have them rubber banded together so they don't get lost. I also brought in my Copic Peach. Oh no, this is a Spectrum. Yeah, this is a Illustrator Spectrum. This is FS5. Because this wasn't, the dark one wasn't quite dark enough. I wanted it to be a little darker in the, on these lines. So this one actually is as dark as I want it to be. So I'm just going over all of these little lines, just a little. It's not like you have to be perfect at this. The blending pen is going to make you look like a great artist, because the idea is dark is where the shadow is. So, you know, your guess is as good as mine, because depending on the way your light would be on real roses, where would that shadow be? So you can have it be wherever you want to. I'm sure not going to argue. And then this one, I'm just going over it with the Petal Pink Light blending pen. And you see, it blends it in really nicely. You can't even see any of that trellis back there, can you? Okay, and if you want to highlight anything particularly, I think I actually use this dark Petal Pink, and I use this little teeny tiny tip just to kind of make sure that that's blending a little bit better with this color that's just a little different. Looks pretty good. I actually think I want my centers to be darker, because usually with a rose, if it's tightly closed like this, that center's going to be darker. Okay, that's done. Then I used my little Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella just gives you a really nice shine, like a silvery shine, and you might not be able to see that in this video, that it's shiny, but it is. It's cute. And then the Call Me Clover. This is the light Call Me Clover, and I'm just going to color over all of these little leaves, and I'm using that pointy end, and I'm not bothering with any highlighting on this because it's a pretty dark green, and I don't want a light green, so we're just gonna do like that. Let's see if I missed a leaf. I don't think I did. Sometimes I do. Now, if you wanted to make those veins just a little bit lighter, you could always use, you know, let me go grab one. Hold on. You could grab the alcohol ink lifting pen would do it, would give you a lighter. You can also just use a white gel pen to kind of put some highlights on stuff. It just depends on what kind of a look you're looking for. I didn't use this on the other one, but I thought, oh yeah, I could. If I don't like that, then I can always use, you could use a chalk marker, would give you the same effect. I'm not sure if I have a chalk marker handy in my little gel pen case. Sometimes I don't use my gel pens all that often, so that felt like it was kind of dried up. But anyway, you can take your, with darker colors, you can take your gel pens and add in little highlights if you like. Okay, but anyhow, this is done. Well, pretty much done, because I do need that cute little pearl. And I got that pearl up too high, so I want to make sure this time I put it down low enough so it's not so close to my bow. And this is the Share What You Love artistic pearls in Stampin' Up's catalog. So I'm just going to grab one of those and stick it on down there. And then our tag is done. And oh, I forgot to cut my ribbon. And then I also need this little clip. So let me move this out of the way and go grab my clip. Now these little clips were in the Christmas catalog. It was the holiday catalog, I guess. And so I don't know, they were called galvanized clips. I'm not sure if they're available still. They might be. This is Petal Pink gross grain. I'm not sure what that word is. Ribbon. I'm not sure even if it is. It might be woven ribbon. So you're just going to tie a nice little bow with that. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything spectacular. You're just going to work it to make it better. Don't take too much time with your bows, because this is a real time drainer. And basically just tie it and fix it. That's that's my method. Just tie it and then try to fix it and it'll be fine. And then you can put a little glue dot. These little glue dots you can get in any store. They're very gummy. They stick really well. I can stick it right on my clip like this. And then you do have to kind of hold it down to make sure it's sticking as you pull your backing away, but it will. And then I can stick my ribbon right on that. And then we're going to put another one on the back. Another glue dot on this back. And then we will attach it to, actually, I don't really need to do that because I can attach it. Here, let me put my glue dot back. Because I think I can attach it right on here. It's going to stay. It did when I did it before, so let's try it. You just kind of have to lift it a little bit to slide it on, and then I can slide it onto my little bag, and it will stay right where I want it. And then I can clip my ribbon to the length I want, and that's pretty cute. That one's done. Okay, so there's those little bags. And okay, the next thing we're going to do is our cute little our little tea thing. And my pocket came apart, so I want to make sure I use tear and tape or something instead of my snail that I did earlier. And my little tea bag fits in there. And then you have this little sentiment. Now this is all from the Time for Tea set. This has been in our main catalog for a while. And it has framelits that go with it that have this cute little label. It's about the size of this label. In fact, I bet you I have one. Let me grab my cutting board down here too, because we're gonna start this one from scratch so you can see what it looks like. But I believe I have a Time for Tea. This is what the it has a smaller one than this, and then this size. And you can weave a ribbon in and out of it. The only reason I didn't want to use it is just because it's this circle piece is going to be on the inside, and I didn't really want this to be super fancy there because I wanted to use my stitched shapes labels for this front because it's big enough to get the sentiment and the teacup on it. So that's what we're using. And this is just Whisper White that I cut stitched labels out of. And just for you to see, these are all of the little teapot. You could put a little teapot here. This is cute, huh? But this is the tea class. We're gonna do all these little tea things. And part of the reason we're doing it this time of the year, this is going to happen at the end of April, right? Let's see, March. Tea time is coming up next, so March 22 and 23, that's in two weeks. We're doing it, I'm doing a Mother's Day card in the next 2 classes, so everybody has a chance to get 2 Mother's Day cards done. And why? Because I'm a mother and I think it's important to send Mother's Day cards to people. I think it's important to send Father's Day cards too. So we will be doing that also, but we're gonna do our Father's Day cards as just one card class. And the only reason I think I'm doing that is I'm just not sure that as many people are as enthusiastic about Father's Day cards. I wish they were, but they're probably not. Okay, so we are cutting this. I took an 8.5 by 11 and cut it 3.5 by 11. And this is my leftover piece. So this is 11 inches long, and we're going to cut this 3.5 inches. Okay, so let me move some things so you can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna put my little boxes to the side here because I don't know that I can have everything in this picture. If I have everything here, we won't be able to see what we're doing. So this is 3.5 inches wide and 11 inches long. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold it on there. And it's kind of hard for me to cut it this side like this. See what happened when I did that. Okay, looks good. And then we're going to score it at 3.5 inches. So let me make sure my scoring blade is set here. Okay, so 3.5 inches this way. And then 4 inches. And then 7.5. So I'm gonna move my arm out so I can get to 7.5 right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna put my arm back in. And then we are going to cut on the diagonal. Now on my first attempt, I cut it differently than I wanted it, because I want the card to open and you can see your tea bag, and I ended up cutting my diagonal differently, so I had to turn the card and do it like this, so my tea bag is here. And it doesn't really matter. You could do it either way, but I really preferred to have my tea bag showing when you open it. Does that make sense? So, having said that, I want to make sure that when I cut my diagonal piece, you've got this is your 3.5 inch score line, this is your 4 inch score line, this is your 7.5 inch score line. So you want to cut this diagonal piece, like right, I want it to fold, or when I fold it over like this, it's going to be cut like this, okay? I'm talking as I am doing this because this is how I got myself into a bind. Oh, that looks like it's long. I don't think I measured that exactly what it should have been. Huh. Let's check that out, because I think that looks long. I'm going to move my arm because I think when I'm looking at it this way, that's what happened. So 7.5. Yep, it is. It's just a little bit off from where it should have been. So let's do that again. Now we'll see if it works better. It's better. But I'm going to have to trim a tiny bit off because I screwed it up a little bit. So let's look there. See, it needs to be right here where this fold is. It cannot be extra. And it's not like, it's just a tea bag, so it's going to fit fine width-wise. But I do need that to be perfect. I can't have it too long. I think that's close, but I still think teeny tiny bit off. Okay, that's looking much better. Now, back to my diagonal. I'm going to cut it across like this. So you just lay your corners in where your fold is here, and the tip here. I hope you're seeing this okay. Okay, and then you're just cutting it across. And then this is your diagonal fold. And then I'm going to put my cutting board away because we're done with the cutting boards. Let me get rid of that. And my little scraps. And my diagonal piece. And I'm not going to use the snail. It didn't really hold well enough. So I'll get out some tear and tape. Okay, so your tear and tape is supposed to be really strong, but to tell you the truth, it isn't as strong as I'd like. If I was going to put anything strong, heavier than a little tea bag in here, I think I would rubber cement it or put my Tombow glue on it. But a tea bag's going to be fine in here. So we'll do tear and tape, and I hope it holds better than that snail did. I'm not sure that it will. We'll find out. So you're just gonna fold that in. Oh, I did cut it even a little shorter than I needed to, but at least it's clearing the fold, this fold. Okay. All right, so let's do all of these fold lines nice and evenly. Okay. Cute. So there, your tea bag will fit right in there. If you had to, you could fold it down a little bit. Mine's probably pretty fat. I'm actually a big tea fan, so my bag might be a little fatter than some. And then we're gonna do our little label. So this is warmed with love, steeped in friendship. It's right here. We're gonna stamp these, the sentiment and the little vine that's on the side. We're gonna do that in Bermuda Bay. Okay, so here's our block. And there's our Bermuda Bay. Okay, here we go. We'll see if I got it close to the center. It's always a little tricky when I'm doing it with Facebook because of the camera. I don't want to stick my head right in there then you couldn't see what I'm doing, but then I can't really see what I'm doing either. So then the little vine has this outline part, and it also has a coloring part. We're going to do the outline part with this same Bermuda Bay, and we're going to just stamp it on the sides. Of the sentiment. Okay, and then I'm going to use the other one with this pool party, and then we can we don't have to color it at all. So I'm going to just put away my other one. This is just a solid. So I'll open up pool party, and then I have to kind of get my head in here because I have to line this right up with the leaves and the little dots. So sorry about that, but I can't do it any other way, because then when you lay it down, it's going to color it all right in. You see, then I don't have to spend any time coloring it. I want this to all be one color because I don't want a whole lot of busy. There. Okay, because these are photopolymer stamps, you can see right through them. And then you don't have to color. You can use the solid leaf. And this set actually has these leaves with the solid. It has this little flower with the solid, and then this vine that we just used with this solid thing. So that's nice. In this class that I'm going to do, the people are going to really appreciate not having to do all of the fussy coloring that a lot of times I have people do, because I like to color, and I assume other people do, and they don't always. So that's the inside. And then on the outside, we've got our stitched label, and there's our stitched label. We're going to have it going vertically instead of horizontally, and I want to start with that sentiment because I think it's going to be easy to fit in my cup, but I don't want to have my sentiment up so high that I'm not going to be able to see it very well. And we are done with our pool party, so we'll put that away. And this is our Bermuda Bay back again. And I'm just checking to make sure I've got this inked up really well. There's the sentiment all finished. And then we just do the cup. And I've got just a tiny bit of coloring in the cup, and then we're all done. So these two little bags actually go together, or I guess you could call this a bag. This goes really fast. You can do a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of them if you wanted, without it taking a ton of time. So all these little tea things would be so cute for any Mother's Day gift. So thank you, Erica, for creating that for us. It was really nice of you to do. And let me put that away because we're all done with our stamps and our tear and tape. I'm going to put that away also. And then the way I colored this is I used, no, not that. Let's see, what did I use? This is, I believe, ivory. Okay, this is ivory. It looks like weak tea to me. I like milk in my tea. And so if you're somebody who likes like really dark coffee without any cream or anything, you might think this looks pathetically weak, but I actually like it this way, so that's why I'm doing it in this color. And then I'm just going to use this same color again to just kind of do a little circle line here for that, and then just some little steam coming up from your cup. And you wouldn't have to do that. It would look cute without doing that as well. And then we've got Light Pool Party. I'm going to use that just for this rim. These are the alcohol blending pens. They are very easy to work with. You're not going to have a whole lot of lines where you don't want them. For my saucer, I actually want to color that in on the bottom. And actually, I think I want this colored in too. Okay, now the more I went over it, the darker it would be, but I also can just get out my dark pool party and put in a little bit darker one. If I want to darken this up anywhere, I can do it that way. You might want to have a little shadow in there. Who knows? You don't have to, but you could. Okay, we're gonna, actually, we wouldn't have shadow like that, so we're going to go ahead and make that whole thing dark because it would look that way probably. Anyhow, I could go on and on. I like to color, like I said, so I don't mind being kind of fussy that way. And then we're gonna get our ribbon and put a dement. This looks off. That's funny, huh? Sometimes their designs are not what they could be. And this is light, right? I want light. Okay, so we're going to try to make that look a little bit more even. Because I've got like one little strip there, and there we go. That's a little better. I don't know why that didn't happen on this one. I think it did, and I just didn't notice. I think it's just the perspective. This is farther away, so it's smaller. This is closer. I don't know, but anyway, it looks a little strange to me, but just barely. It's fine. I can live with it. So let's see. I'm using this gold ribbon that I don't know if it's still in the catalog or not. It might be. I'm just not 100% sure. And then you're going to take a couple of dimensionals and stick these on the back. I think I'm going to use 3 dimensionals. And let me peel the backs off. And okay, now I need to lay this ribbon like this. And then I'm just gonna make it even so that I can tie my bow here. And then, oops, I stuck that down there. Good thing it didn't really stick. And then I'm just gonna lay this right where I want it, like that. And press it down so it holds my ribbon in place. And then I'll be ready to tie it. Of course, I would put my little tea bag in there first, but we'll just go ahead and tie the ribbon. Again, not fussy, you know, with this ribbon, because it's just a matter of fixing it. After you've done it, you just can move the ribbon around until it lays the way you want it. And you can actually take these ends, if it's twisted, like this is a little bit twisted. When I did it, it twisted kind of oddly. That's actually really easy to fix. You just make it the way you want. Twist this side the way you want. Go back and forth, and it will eventually, it'll, oops, if I do it the other way, it will correct itself. I just had it twisted wrong. Okay, so now I'm twisting it back this way, like this. There, now it's corrected itself. So, there, perfect. So there's your little tea bags. Okay, all right. So I hope you had a great day today, and you can share my videos. Again, go on Square Up and register for this cute little tea class, and register for the Climbing Roses class and the Happy Tales class. If you do your shopping for Celebration to earn all of your free products, please use the host code and I will send you a gift. And I'm gonna flip it up and see Dan is watching. Yay! Hi, Dan. Congratulations on the sale of that house. I can hardly wait to see pictures of the new one when you get in there. That'll be exciting. I keep thinking I want a bigger house, but then I think about every time I look, they're not as nice as some of their bathrooms and kitchens are like, we'd have to spend money again to redo to get them as nice as the ones I've got. So we'll just stay in this little house. It's fine. Jeff likes it. All right. Happy birthday, Dan. Wow. That's pretty special that you're watching me on your birthday. That's cool. Okay, you have a great day. I'm glad you don't have snow wherever you are, I hope. And a good rest of the week. Bye.